All right, ready for a powerful one today?
Yeah, bring it on.
We've got this excerpt, pasted text.
Okay.
It reads like a news story crossed with something really hopeful.
Interesting.
It all centers around Barron Trump and this chance meeting he had with a homeless man in D.C.
You say hopeful.
Yeah.
But right away, we're dealing with some stark contrasts.
Yeah.
Barron Trump, teenager life of privilege, and this elderly man who's practically invisible on the streets of D.C.
Yeah. And the story doesn't shy away from that.
Right.
It paints this picture of Barron in a motorcade.
Yeah.
Probably heading back from some official event when he spots this elderly man struggling to even walk.
Okay.
Most people would just keep going.
Right.
But Barron insists the whole motorcade stops.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. What compels someone in that position to break from those norms?
Right.
Is it pure empathy, or could there be a sense of guilt?
That's a good question.
A need to connect with something outside his world?
Honestly, I can't imagine the scene.
Right.
This high-profile teenager gets out of the SUV, approaches this homeless man,
Wow.
offers him water.
Okay.
The story says the man's name is Martin Hargrove,
Martin Hargrove.
and he's trying to get to a shelter before it closes.
Okay.
But then Barron does something truly unexpected. He decides to personally take Martin to the shelter.
Wow, that's a big decision.
Right?
On the surface,
Yeah.
it's an act of kindness.
Right.
But think about the layers involved.
Yeah.
You have the disruption of protocol, potential security risks,
Yeah.
and the sheer awkwardness of this situation.
Right.
And yet Barron goes through with it.
He does.
It challenges our assumptions about privilege.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It suggests that empathy can exist even in the most insulated environments.
Makes you think.
It really does.
And the story captures that beautifully.
It does.
Even on the drive to the shelter,
Yeah.
Barron is studying Martin, almost like he's trying to unravel a mystery.
Trying to figure him out.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And Martin is just as taken aback.
I bet.
He even asks Barron, why would someone like you start for someone like me?
Yeah.
It's a heartbreaking question.
It really is.
That speaks volumes about the invisible walls we build in society.
Yeah, those walls we put up between us.
Right.
Here are two people from completely different worlds, forced together by circumstance.
Right.
Suddenly they have to confront their own preconceived notions about each other.
And Barron's response is so simple.
What does he say?
He just says, because someone should. Yeah.
Those three words
I know.
cut through all the complexity, get to the heart of human compassion.
Right.
No justification, no grandstanding.
Yeah.
Just a recognition of basic human dignity.
And it's not just a fleeting moment of kindness either. The story emphasizes how even after they reach the shelter and Martin is settled,
Right.
something keeps drawing Barron back to him.
It's like this encounter has awakened something in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not content with just dropping Martin off and moving on.
Right.
He's driven by this need to understand, to connect on a deeper level.
Yeah.
It's almost like a puzzle he needs to solve.
So back at home,
Yeah.
something about Martin triggers a memory.
Okay.
And Barron starts digging online. That's when he stumbles on this old article about a renowned architect, also named Martin Hargrove,
Same name.
who disappeared years ago after this devastating family tragedy.
Oh, wow.
It's like a missing piece of the puzzle has just slotted into place.
Right.
Suddenly, this seemingly random homeless man has a past, a history,
a story
that's far more complex than Barron could have imagined.
I bet.
And it raises all sorts of questions.
It does.
Could this really be the same Martin Hargrove? Right.
What led him to this point?
Yeah.
What happened in those missing years?
Exactly.
And Barron doesn't just brush it off as some coincidence.
No.
He's determined to get answers.
Okay.
To find out the truth about Martin's identity.
That tenacity.
Right.
He could have convinced himself it was just a case of mistaken identity.
Easily.
Yeah, but something about this whole encounter has gripped him, and he's not letting go.
So he goes back to the shelter the very next day.
Oh.
Article in hand.
Okay.
Ready to confront Martin.
Oh, wow.
It's a tense moment.
Yeah.
Imagine being Martin, facing this young man who's clearly connected to a world you've left behind.
A world you've tried to forget.
Right.
It's a clash of worlds.
Yeah.
A confrontation with the past that Martin has tried so hard to bury.
Right.
And it's in this moment of tension that the story takes a truly unexpected turn.
What happens?
Does he deny it?
Yeah. Does he run?
He does neither.
Okay.
He takes a deep breath.
And confirms that he is, in fact, the Martin Hargrove from the article.
Oh.
And for the first time, he starts to open up about this devastating fire that claimed the lives of his wife and daughters.
Oh, wow.
He explains how the grief overwhelmed him, leading him to abandon his life, his career, everything that defined him.
It's heartbreaking.
It is.
And it sheds light on the true nature of Martin's homelessness.
It does.
It's not just about a lack of resources. It's about a profound loss of hope.
Yeah.
A feeling that he doesn't deserve a life anymore.
Wow.
After such a tragedy.
A stark reminder that homelessness often stems from deeper, more complex issues than we might realize.
Yeah.
It challenges us to look beyond the surface and recognize the invisible scars, the emotional burdens that people carry.
And Barron, despite his youth and privilege, seems to understand that.
He does.
He listens intently to Martin's story, and in that moment, he makes a life-altering decision.
What's that?
He decides to help Martin rebuild his life.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is.
This is where we see the power of empathy in action.
Yeah.
It's not just about feeling sorry for someone.
Right.
It's about taking that feeling and transforming it into action, into a genuine desire to make a difference.
But it's not a decision he makes lightly.
Right.
He seeks support from his parents.
Okay.
Who, despite their demanding lives, agree to help him with this endeavor.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is.
That compassion can be a collective effort.
Yeah.
That even those in positions of power
Right.
can be touched by the stories of those less fortunate.
Uh-huh.
And it sets the stage for what comes next.
It does.
A journey of healing and transformation.
Exactly.
That will impact both Barron and Martin in profound ways.
Which is exactly what we'll be exploring in part 2 of our deep dive.
Can't wait.
Stay tuned as we uncover how Barron's decision unfolds.
Right.
The challenges they face. And the unexpected ripple effects of this chance encounter.
Looking forward to it.
All right, see you next time.
Sounds good.
Welcome back, everyone. Last time we left off with Barron Trump making a pretty big decision to help Martin Hargrove rebuild his life.
Huge decision.
It's a powerful moment in the story.
It is.
But it also raises a lot of questions.
Right, because it's not like flipping a switch.
Right.
Martin's been through immense trauma.
Yeah.
And just offering resources doesn't magically erase years of pain and loss.
Exactly. The story doesn't shy away from that.
It doesn't.
It actually highlights how Martin is initially hesitant, unsure if he can even handle this sudden wave of support after years of living in the shadows.
He's built up these defenses, these coping mechanisms to survive on the streets.
Right.
And suddenly someone's trying to break through those walls.
Right.
It's bound to be overwhelming.
So how does Barron navigate that? I mean, he's still a teenager.
Right.
How does he approach such a delicate situation?
Well, what's interesting is that the story shows Barron doesn't try to force anything on Martin. He gathers information on job training programs, housing options, counseling services.
So he's like laying out a roadmap.
Basically lays out a roadmap for recovery.
Yeah.
But he leaves the decision-making to Martin.
So it's about empowerment.
Exactly.
It's just charity.
It's about saying, I believe in you, and here are the tools you need to rebuild your life.
Okay.
But ultimately, the choice is yours.
Powerful message.
It is.
Especially for someone like Martin, who's lost all sense of agency.
Right.
And does Martin eventually take those steps?
He does.
Okay.
But it's a gradual process.
Right.
He starts attending counseling sessions, tentatively explores job training programs. Even considers moving into transitional housing.
Okay.
But the story doesn't sugarcoat things.
Yeah.
It acknowledges that there are setbacks, moments of doubt.
Yeah. Even anger?
Yeah. We see Martin struggle with survivor's guilt.
Of course.
Lashing out at Barron.
Right.
Questioning whether he even deserves a second chance.
Makes sense.
And Barron, to his credit, doesn't back down.
No, he doesn't.
He understands that healing isn't linear.
It's not a straight line.
Yeah.
Lots of ups and downs.
He stands by Martin.
Yeah.
Provides consistent support and encouragement.
He's there for him.
Reminding him that it's okay to stumble. As long as he keeps moving forward.
Keep going.
Really highlights the power of belief.
It does.
Having someone in your corner who genuinely believes in you, even when you don't believe in yourself, can make all the difference.
Huge difference.
It's a testament to the transformative nature of human connection.
It is.
And what's remarkable is how their relationship evolves throughout this process.
It does?
Initially, it was Barron extending a helping hand to Martin.
Right.
But as they navigate this journey together, it becomes a two-way street. So Barron isn't just a benefactor.
Right.
He's becoming a friend, a confidant.
Exactly. The story reveals how they spend time together, sharing meals, talking about their lives.
Just being there for each other.
Even just enjoying each other's company.
And as they get to know each other better, they start to learn from each other.
What do you think Barron learns from someone like Martin?
I think Martin teaches Barron about resilience, about the strength of the human spirit to overcome adversity.
Okay.
He shows Barron that even in the darkest of times, there's always a flicker of hope.
Right.
A reason to keep fighting.
And what about Martin? What does he gain from this unlikely friendship?
For Martin, I think Barron represents a renewed sense of purpose.
Okay.
A reminder that his life still matters.
Yeah.
Remember, Martin had completely withdrawn from the world.
Right.
Convinced that he didn't deserve happiness after losing his family. But Barron's belief in him, his unwavering support, starts to chip away at those walls of isolation.
It's like Barron is showing Martin that he's not alone.
Right.
That there are people who care about him, who want to see him succeed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as their bond strengthens, the story takes another interesting turn.
Okay.
It's not just about their personal journey anymore. Their story starts to get attention from the outside world.
Right. The story goes viral.
It does.
Suddenly, pictures of Barron Trump helping a homeless man are all over social media.
Wow.
What kind of impact does that have on their relationship?
It's a double-edged sword.
How so?
On the one hand, it raises awareness about homelessness.
Okay.
Sparks conversations about compassion and social responsibility. But on the other hand, it brings a level of scrutiny and skepticism that neither of them were prepared for.
So people start questioning Barron's motives.
Exactly.
Accusing him of doing this for publicity.
And that raises some really important questions.
Yeah.
About the nature of good deeds in the public eye.
Right.
Can a genuine act of kindness be tainted by accusations of ulterior motives? How does public perception influence our willingness to help others?
It's a tricky territory to navigate.
It is.
Especially for someone as young as Barron.
Right.
How does he handle this sudden wave of attention?
Well, the story suggests that he struggles with it at first.
Okay.
He's used to a certain level of privacy.
Right.
And now he's being judged and scrutinized by millions of people.
Yeah. But ultimately, he seems to realize that the good they're doing outweighs the negativity. So he focuses on the positive impact their story is having.
Yes. And he uses the platform he's been given to advocate for the homeless.
Okay.
To encourage others to look beyond stereotypes.
Right.
And see the human beings behind the statistics.
It's a mature response.
It is.
And it shows that he's genuinely committed to making a difference.
Yeah.
Regardless of what people might say.
That's awesome.
And what about Martin? How does he react to being thrust into the spotlight?
It's understandably overwhelming for him.
Yeah.
Remember, he spent years trying to disappear, to erase his past.
Right.
And now his story is being shared with the world.
Right.
But there's a pivotal moment in the story where he receives a letter.
A letter.
That changes everything.
From whom?
It's from his old architectural firm.
Okay.
Hargrove Architects.
Wow.
And it's an invitation.
Wow.
They want him to visit.
Okay.
To reconnect with his past.
That's a huge moment.
It is.
It's like a bridge back to the life he thought he'd lost forever.
Right.
But it must also be terrifying.
It must.
Can he face the people who knew him before his tragedy?
That's the question.
It's a major turning point in the story.
It is.
And it sets the stage for Martin's final act of healing and redemption.
I can't wait to hear about it.
But we'll have to delve into that in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
Stay tuned as we explore how Martin responds to this unexpected invitation.
All right.
And the lasting impact of his journey with Barron.
Sounds good.
I'm still thinking about that letter.
Well, yeah.
An invitation from his old firm.
After all these years.
It feels symbolic.
It does.
Like a doorway back to a life he thought was gone.
It represents a choice for Martin.
Right.
Does he cling to the shadows?
Yeah.
Or does he take a step towards the light?
Towards a potential reintegration
Right.
into the world he left behind.
It's about facing his past.
Yeah.
Confronting the people who knew him before his life was shattered.
And what makes it even more complex, this isn't just about a job offer.
No.
This is about facing his past.
It speaks to the universality of loss.
Yeah.
And the challenge of moving forward without forgetting.
Right.
Can we embrace our past?
The painful parts.
Even the painful parts.
Yeah.
And still find a way to build a future.
So what does Martin do?
Does he accept?
Does he accept the invitation?
He does, but not without hesitation. The story emphasizes this decision isn't easy. He wrestles with fear, guilt, the worry that he'll be seen as a ghost of his former self.
And I imagine Barron's presence is crucial during this time.
Barron's unwavering support is a constant.
Yeah.
He encourages Martin to face his fears, reminding him that he's not alone.
So what's it like when Martin returns to Hargrove Architects?
Is it awkward?
Is he met with pity? Judgment?
None of the above.
Okay.
The story describes a scene of genuine warmth and acceptance.
Really?
His former colleagues are overjoyed to see him.
Wow.
Expressing how much they've missed him.
That's amazing.
And his talent.
It's a beautiful moment of human connection.
It is.
A reminder that sometimes people don't forget.
Yeah.
Even when years have passed.
Some lives have changed.
It challenges the notion that we're easily replaced or forgotten.
Right.
It suggests that our contributions,
our presence in people's lives,
can leave a lasting mark.
It can.
And it gets even better.
What happens?
The firm offers Martin a chance to mentor young architects, sharing his knowledge and experience.
That's great.
Without the pressure of full-time work.
That's perfect.
It's an offer that acknowledges both his past achievements and his current limitations.
They're not asking him to be the man he once was.
Right.
But they are recognizing the value he still holds.
Do you think this is the turning point for Martin?
Maybe.
The moment where he truly starts to believe in himself again.
It certainly seems that way.
Okay.
He's hesitant at first.
Yeah.
But ultimately, he accepts the offer, embracing this new role.
It's amazing.
With a mix of trepidation and excitement.
And as he mentors these young architects, he finds himself drawing on his past experiences.
Yeah.
Both the triumphs and the tragedies.
To guide and inspire them.
It's a powerful example of how our wounds, when processed and integrated, can become sources of strength and wisdom.
He's not letting his past define him.
No.
But he's also not running from it.
Right.
He's using it to connect with others. To offer a unique perspective. That only someone who's walked through fire can provide.
So the story comes full circle.
Yeah, it does.
Martin, who was once lost and broken, is now helping others find their way.
That's amazing.
Using his pain to illuminate the path.
For those who might be struggling.
It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit.
It is.
The power of compassion to heal.
Not just individuals.
But entire communities.
It really is.
And what about Barron?
Yeah, what's his role in all this?
What role does he play in this final chapter of Martin's story?
Barron remains a steadfast friend and supporter, while the story shifts its focus to Martin's reintegration into the architectural world. It emphasizes that their bond remains strong.
That's great.
They celebrate Martin's successes together. And Barron continues to champion Martin's story. Using his platform to raise awareness about homelessness and the importance of second chances.
It speaks to the enduring power of that initial act of kindness.
It does.
What started as a simple gesture of compassion
Yeah.
has blossomed into a transformative friendship.
It really has.
One that has enriched both their lives in immeasurable ways.
And it's not just their lives that have been touched.
Right.
Remember, their story went viral.
Right.
Sparking conversations and inspiring action all over the world.
People were donating to homeless shelters.
Yeah.
Volunteering their time.
Sharing stories of their own encounters
Right.
with those less fortunate.
It's like their story became a catalyst for a wave of compassion and empathy.
It did.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what do you think is the most important takeaway for our listeners?
I think the affirmation that each of us has the power to make a difference.
Okay.
We might not all have the resources or the platform of a Barron Trump.
Right.
But we can all choose to see the humanity in those around us.
Yeah.
To offer a helping hand, a listening ear.
Yeah.
A moment of genuine connection.
It's a powerful message.
It is.
And one that resonates deeply with me.
Me too.
This story reminds us that compassion is not a finite resource.
It's not.
It's something we can cultivate and share.
Yeah.
Creating a ripple effect that can transform lives and communities.
Absolutely.
So what will you do today to be a source of light and hope for someone in need? That's something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.